off driving with the wheel moving, but I've turned it off now. I drive just at the clocks. It's kind of better for me.
Yeah, it does. It kind of distracts you, I think. But
Yeah, you don't have as much of a view angle from it, but it's pretty good.
yeah, definitely.
Okay, I'm going to record this, but that's a great way to start, literally, is welcome to the Watkins Glen kind of track talk, I suppose the best way to put this. The idea of tonight is just to let some of our sim racers share some of their tips and hints, and we're going to also have Keith Dempsey just out on track as the current fastest man on track, to show us some of the lines and run through some of the setups and tips that he has from experience in sim racing, and we hope to have a few more of these over time as well, which would be great. So thanks, Keith, for taking the time out tonight. I know we were all saying a great part of this sim racing stuff is you're usually doing it at home and it's after the kids are put to bed, so we appreciate that. But I just overheard you there with Brian McManus kind of talking about, you know, your setup and how your rig is set up. So over to you, Keith. Do you want to talk us through kind of your practice sessions, a little bit about maybe how you got into sim racing, a little bit about your rig, and then we'll ride on board with you maybe for a couple of laps and you can talk us through that as well.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so thanks everyone for coming in and joining in there this evening. But I'm no expert either, so I'm always watching other people and looking at other people's what they're doing as well to try learn something as well. So everyone can learn something from someone. So yeah, I'm here to try help keep people interested in the league and try basically keep it going, keep momentum going. Niall and Rob are doing a great job for the series for everyone. So I don't think they're making a whole lot of money out of it anyway either. So they need to try
No, we're not.
at the moment till you hit the big time. But,
yeah, when it goes big time.
Yeah, but so more than glad to help in any way I can to try, as I said, keep people interested, and that it's good as well because we have lots of good drivers coming in with the likes of Charlie Eastwood and Niall Quinn doing the good few races as well. So, and then Vicky, Niall, Murray, and stuff like that as well. So there's a lot of good drivers involved as well, which is I think that's what motivates a lot of people to do it as well. It motivates me anyway a fair bit. So yeah, it's good having all them on board as well.
It is, yeah, and we were just saying at the start there, you, especially chatting away with Brian there, and I don't know if they've got Simon Wall, Arturis, Adam, Pavel, Sergey, Jordan, and ourselves. We were kind of trying to limit these to 10 as we didn't want to have too many. But I suppose one of the things about sim racing now, Keith, is that it's become so accessible, hasn't it? Like you're kind of sitting at home and you're racing these legendary tracks and these great cars and all this stuff, but a lot of people don't really get that we're just all kind of sitting at home at our own convenience doing this on a Monday night, which it's just amazing when you think back of computers and sim racing of old. It was a very lonely thing to be doing at times. You didn't have these Discord channels or any of this online stuff. It was just it was very strictly either a gaming thing, or if some people kind of seen the value in it, they were using it to get in some sneaky practice on some laps before heading to the track.
Yeah, no, it's so much more accessible now, and it's getting more and more popular as well. Even the likes of TV is showing esports races on Sky Sports or esports sports in general, like football or FIFA or whatever as well. So it's definitely getting an awful lot more interest, and so it's pretty cheap to get set up now as well. Like, you know, the computers nowadays are so powerful. Even a standard one, you can buy a cheap wheel, and the desk is all you need to get started and get competitive anyway from there. Like, you know, you don't have to.
It's a slippery slope though, right, Keith?
Yeah, it's an addiction after that. Like, you know, it just snowballs and non-stop. So I keep.
So do you want to talk us through your setup kind of thing, and talk us through kind of what you're sitting in right now, and then we might ask some of the other lads the same, and then just get a look and feel of kind of where this grid is. So one of the unique things with sim racing, while the grid is all exactly the same, the rigs that you're using could be completely different. That's one of the great things about sim racing, isn't it? It's not who has the better computer or the better rig or whatever. At the end of the day, you're driving what is essentially the same cars on the track, right?
Yeah, I've upgraded completely since January this year. I was basically driving a G29 or G920 on a wooden desk that had screwed to my wall in the house, and was having just a bit of fun sim racing with a few friends every now and then. And then Niall Murray told me about your league starting up, and then I kind of got into that, and I done the first series, our first championship in the Porches with we wooden table screwed to the wall, and then kind of got a little bit hooked and wanted to try do things a little bit better. But to be honest, I still think I'd do a similar performance with the old stuff, but I think this having all the good stuff now makes it kind of nearly more enjoyable, and it doesn't rattle the house apart either.
Yeah, you haven't gone full motion on anything like Barry Rabbit has with his big rig.
No, that'd make me sick. I couldn't do that. I tried that motion simulator up in Sandyford there a while ago. Jesus, I needed one of their sick bags after. Oh, it was awful. Awful.
It's atrocious.
Worst I've ever driven.
Yeah.
Oh, it's terrible. It would put people off racing, like, you know, or sims in general.
Yeah, and that's one of the things. Like I live up near. We won't bad out the place, but it is unfortunate that kind of sometimes people's first experience with this is either that it's way too difficult, as in, you know, even up as far as using a clutch or getting the car into gear can be a challenge. But we try and replicate as much as we can, kind of real world racing. But then when you go to other places like what an amazing looking simulator that is. Another one you're talking about, and it's running R Factor Pro, and it's just shocking, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's not a good example. But what I'm currently running is I've an Alienware computer, which is it was probably good 2 or 3 years ago. It's getting a little bit old now, but it's still it runs iRacing and Assetto Corsa and all perfectly for this. I'd never have any problem with the frame rate or anything like that. I have a Husenbelt rig and the Husenbelt pedals. The sprint pedals. Yeah. And I have to say, the pedals I think are between the pedals and the wheel. I don't know which I prefer both best, but they're both the pedals are unbelievable. Like, you know, delighted with them. And then I have an Augury direct drive wheel, which is 18 Newton meter motor, which is the lowest on the scale you can get, but I run it at 100%, but you can go to like 200%, I think it is, on Assetto Corsa. I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah, you can, yeah.
I'm not sure what the highest percentage is. Lately I've gone up to 170%, and it's still pretty hard on the wrists, like, you know.
With a 30-minute race, you must be knackered after it then, are you? That'd be pulling the arms off.
It's tough. It's not tough. I turn it down a bit so it's not pulling the arms off me, but I actually kind of want to strengthen up my arms a bit as well. So it's pretty good, like, you know. So my wheel then is called an F1S. It's a Simul J. It's some Spanish. Make it a part of Augury, and it's I'm delighted with the wheel now, I have to say, apart from it let me down last week, but it's the business, I have to say. It has like rotary dials, and it has like a rev lights, and it has LCD dash, like not a proper color dash, like a little red LED dash, and it gives you the information you need, your fuel, your lap times, your gear, and stuff like that. So I'm happy. I only run a single monitor screen. I have a 32-inch screen, but I'd like to go triples, but I would probably need a bigger computer to do that. So I don't want to spend that money at the moment.
May I ask, why are you not using VR?
I had an Oculus for a while, but it made me sick, made me feel bad. I got headaches, and stomach wasn't great at all, like, you know.
Okay.
It was okay driving on like flat track, like Silverstone or something, was no problem for me. But then I'd go somewhere like Brands Hatch and like Paddock Hill, at the bottom of Paddock Hill, where you'd hit the dip at the bottom, where like maybe you always feel it in your stomach, like, you know. So I think my body is kind of, I don't know, it couldn't handle it, any of the up or downs or Eau Rouge or any of that sort of stuff. I just felt like I gotta have to take it off here.
If that wasn't the case, would you prefer it?
I've got shit eyesight, and I don't have glasses, I don't wear glasses. But I think the Oculus, I'm not sure if it was me, but I couldn't see stuff clearly, like brake marker boards or stuff on the track. It wasn't as clear as me. I could never feel like it was focused right on my head. But I spent about a month with it, and in iRacing, it was very good. And I have to say, like, some of the Renault 3.5 in Suzuka and iRacing, it was unbelievable. Like, you know, at one stage I was driving, and you see the hands on the steering wheel, and actually it felt like they were your hands nearly in front of you, like, you know.
Yeah,
So
that's the thing.
it's no, I think for experience to get close to real life, what it feels like in a racing car, VR is definitely the way to go. Like, but for me, it depends on your if you can take the motion of it or not. But VR is definitely the most kind of realistic feeling. But I don't know if it gives you the best lap times on track either.
Yeah, and I think that's true as well, Pete. When we have the motion simulator, which run on a D-Box system, which kind of I think it still is the best you can get in that platform. But we we actually stumbled across a lot of people feeling very ill getting off ours, and the tip and the trick and the whole point of these kind of track talk things is there's an option within a set of courses to lock your vision to the horizon. And why a lot of people get that motion sickness feeling is because they often forget to put that setting on. So as you were saying there, when it's a flat track, and this makes sense, it's not really an issue with it. But you know, if you're ever on a boat that's in high waves and they say just focus onto the horizon, and you're tipping down and up, so you can virtually do that within the Oculus Rift. And that's not for everyone now, but it really reduces that motion sickness feeling. So if anyone hasn't got that turned on.
Yeah, well, I kind of missed out on that maybe setting when I had it, but the field of view with the Oculus and seeing around you, like you can really stick your head out and look at the wishbones or the side pods or whatever and see everything. Whereas the screen now, all I can see is like the tops of the two front tires, and out in front of me, that's it. Like I can't see anything else, like, you know, which is
and a real telltale sign is I've yet to see a professional race car driver who's using simulators as a professional racing tool using the Oculus. That's no offense to anyone who's using VR, but they tend to go with a curved, like high refresh rate triple screen, or you know, these new screens that are out. You know, the full wraparound ones.
The thing is, in my experience, is that no screens have ever really replicated the elevation properly. Once I got the VR on for the first time and drove the Nürburgring after having driven it in real life just a couple of days ago, I was shocked. It was basically the same, you know. So yeah, that's the thing for me personally.
Yeah, I definitely feel that for realism, you won't beat VR. And I think in a couple of years' time, when the technology gets even better again,
maybe even a couple of months, Keith, to be honest,
minds.
the whole raft of new stuff coming out in the market. But you know, as you were saying, the whole point of it is, you know, what works for you. And if you're not seeing the lap times with it, and maybe now's a good time to kind of segue into, you know, some driving actually. But yeah, like it really still is it's like that the old beta. I've shown my age there, but you know, the kind of, are you a Nintendo and Xbox person? It's all down to personal choice. But you have a nice rig there anyway. Kind of coming back to like the Hussenfeld sprint pedals are kind of as good. I know they're the ultimates, but as good as they get. For anyone who's watching into this, who's kind of new to this e-sport, you can get into it very, very cheaply, as Keith was saying, by getting, you know, if it's not new, a second-hand kind of Logitech steering wheel. That'd be kind of the minimum we'd recommend anyway. But one of the big things people also struggle with is the brake pedal, which can be on some of the cheaper models. It's a potentiometer, which is how far you're pressing the pedal rather than how hard you're pressing it. And what Keith's basically describing there is on the higher end pedals, it's basically how much force you're applying to the pedal rather than how far you're pressing it down, if that makes sense. But without further ado, Keith, if you want, we're on board with you here. If you want to take us out, I've noticed a couple of times doing the live streams and the commentary that you would really aggressively warm up that car on the outlap, right?
Yeah.
So do you want to kind of talk us through your kind of mindset when you're going out? Maybe you know the track here, but maybe even just from a first time onto a track, just that sighting laps, and then talk us through a quick lap, and then we'll see what we can do.
Can I ask a quick question? Can I ask a question? Someone mentioned that you can actually see pedal input while you observe. How do you do that?
So if you go to the right hand side of the screen, and let me see, I can't do it on that one, but you know where you pull up the menu system?
Oh yeah, I know pedals apps, but when you observe someone, you can't actually see it.
If you right click on my name there on the S tracker and go spectate, you should be on board with me then. Can you see my throttle and brake inputs now moving?
It doesn't work in VR, lads.
Oh, that's what it is.
It just works on monitors.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
I have it here anyway. Just press the accelerator. Keep it just. Yeah, it's working for me here. Anyway, the way I do it is I just usually select gears from the menu, and I select the pedals input.
How do you get out from spectating? Because I'm now sitting with Keith and I can't get out.
Control
right-clicking your own. Oh, or it's like right-clicking my own name and spectating yourself brings it back to me there. Just messing around with it.
I see
F4
that's the other thing.
Gets you back.
Okay. Yeah, I'm back. Thank you.
So anyway, when you're driving, I have a couple of bits on my screen, not too much. I try to keep in these cars I need a gear display. I have two. I have one on my steering wheel and I like the one on the dashboard as well. I have real time and I have my tyres and a performance delta in the middle.
Okay.
The main ones I watch would probably be in practice. It would be the tyres and the real time, see what cars are around you when you're coming out the pits, try not get in their way, and stuff like that. And then the delta, obviously, when you're on the lap, I kind of always be watching that all the time, pretty much when I'm braking mid corner and when you're leaving the corner as well. I tend to kind of rely on it. Sometimes need too much. Just so you can see if you're braking later, if you're gaining a tenth on the way in, but you might be losing 2/10 on the way out, stuff like that. Like so, that's what I have on my display when I'm driving.
Do you keep your performance display like right in the kind of top center of the screen?
Yeah, I've kind of a little window, not a window, but it's between the top of the cockpit and then the virtual mirror top of the screen. I just have it kind of sitting in there is where I have it. I have it pretty small, but I always try to keep it. It's just like a little red bar to the left and green to the right. So when you're on a lap, try to keep it green.
Yeah. Okay, I think I've got this kind of set up the way, and we can talk through some of this as people are looking in. But for those not familiar, this bottom icon down here, this is your four tyres on the car, should be saying. This will tell the drivers as he's driving around kind of outside, middle, and input tyre temperatures across. PSI the tyre, the wear of the tyre, and then it turns blue. I don't think it goes orange, does it? But it goes blue for cold, green for kind of good, and red for overheated.
Yeah, it kind of goes to a dark green and then orange when it's getting bad.
It does go orange. That's what I'm just thinking. Yeah. So we're on board with you there, Keith. So if you want to take us out, we can talk through some of these things as you're kind of going around the track, and we'll let you out for one flyer, and with the whole world watching. I don't know, we've probably got 10 people watching there, Keith, so not too much.
Guaranteed to crash.
Yeah, just don't get it.
But yeah, no, the outlaps, whether or not you can see my tyres are not there. Yeah, it's been there all evening. But on the outlaps, you'll see if you watch your tyres, the fronts in this car always tend to get cold, so I try to scrub them as hard as I can in the corners, or else actually brake it while you're on the power, the straight line, really lift them up as well. So the idea of having your tyres basically at the best temperature you can before you start the lap, having them balanced. So if your rears are at 99, try have your fronts at maybe 100, over 100, because they'll cool down over the lap. That's what I try to do. I try to have the fronts a little bit hotter than the rear starting the lap. Don't be afraid to scrub them. If you want to scrub your front tyres in the corner, I always kind of give it a bit of extra lock than what you need. And induce understeer, and that heats your tyres up as well.
So one of the things as you're going around, it's kind of a rule of sim racing, is any type of squeal from the tyres is always seen as a bad thing, Keith, right? So that's one of the things you're watching out for when you're racing, so that you're not overheating or wearing the tyres unnecessarily. But what you're actually saying is, on your outlap, you're trying to really slow down the tyres to see this car track. So one of the things about online is always to be somebody else online on the track, of course, so we'll just try to see if we get that removed. But let's talk through your lap here.
Yeah, so I went to the first corner and braking at the 100 metre, 200 metre board. I told you.
Don't worry, that's a very easy edit, but we might leave it in.
One note, when you were spectating him, his actual tire squeal is not heard. That's an issue, it's a bugger in a set of cars.
I didn't know that, okay. I didn't know that, yeah.
I try not to concentrate on the tire squeal, it will slow you down. You know, the tires will take more than the squeal, I think.
Tires are freezing here now, anyway. But I'll go around and try this lap again.
Drop's not updated to us here as well if you're watching on board.
Yeah, they're not updating for everybody else, are they not?
No.
Can you see my throttle even?
You see your throttle, yeah?
I can't.
See your brake input, yeah.
I'll go on around and start the lap again. How much fuel have we left? I should have off. I'll start talking from here now for the lines of what I'm doing around the lap to give people an idea. So
yeah, that's classic.
Yeah, I told you, first corner, first lap. So for this corner here, I'm using third gear and I'm keeping it in fairly tight. And you can use the curbs. This track are actually really good. I don't know what they're like in real life, but on the sim here, they're actually really good and you can use them quite nicely. So they don't settle the car and you can get on the power on them quite easy. In the Lotus, this corner here on a good lap is flat out.
Flat out,
hitting the curb on the left. And the most important thing in this last corner is kind of slow down early and get on the power hard coming onto the straight. So I'll try to start this lap now, not right. So coming down here, full fifth, braking at about 200. Try not to brake too hard, because if you brake really hard, you weight transfer too much weight to the front tyres and it gets really loose on the way in, so you're actually nearly better off braking a little bit early and not as hard and carry the speed into the corner. But it's also very important to get on the power nearly full throttle at the apex so you get the run on this straight, because it's a fairly long straight, especially in the Lotus where you're kind of carrying a bit more downforce than the Ferrari, or the Ferrari's a little bit quicker in a straight line. So for the race here, it's going to be very difficult for us to, we won't be able to pass the Ferrari in the straight. We'll have to make up all our time in the corners. So this one I'm going down to fourth, and I'm kind of carrying a tight line the whole way in, and then it grips up a lot on the way out, so you can be hard on the power coming out, and it'll kind of grip up then for you a lot more. In here I'm third, I'm holding the road in the middle, and then just let this curve here, we pull it into the apex and then get a clean drive coming out of the corner. Try to the next step a bit quicker. Then here you can brake an awful lot later than you think. You can brake it 100 meters and carry the speed in, and then late apex and get a straight drive off the corner. That's what I'm doing on a good lap. Then down to here again, I'm braking just after the 200 down to second gear and turning in quite early again at that curb, and then don't be afraid to let it run out. Bring it over here. This corner here is very difficult, so I'm braking at 200 again, and I'm basically waiting, and then as soon as I get it to there, I square it off and get a good exit. This one again, fourth gear, turn in, you want to just nibble that curb on the left, use that curb on the right in here, and then brake early for this one, turn in, and then you want to be flat out by the time you're at the middle apex, and then use all the road. You've loads of extra road there, it's hard to see, but the curb is so wide, you can use an awful lot more curb on the way out. So that's what I'm trying to do on a lap. Will I go back to fifth and do an actual quick lap?
Yeah, if you could, Keith, that would be great. This is great. Just while Keith's gone back, give everyone kind of a quick opportunity there, Keith, just to fire some questions. I suppose my one with Watkins, Glen kind of has that classic street circuit style to it. Of course, a lot of people logging in and watching this won't understand completely, but with sim racing, the car has a certain amount of wear and damage turned on. So obviously during the race and when you're in race mode, how are you thinking about preserving the car? Would you be backing off to 8/10ths, or what way would you be kind of going around it without a qualifying lap?
It depends on the situation you're in the race and what your kind of strategy is with your tyres. Like the last race where I was on the soft tyres for the whole race and I didn't plan to pit stop at the start of the race. I tried to take it a little bit easy and see how the tyres are wearing, and then towards the end and the fuel was getting a bit lower in the middle of the race, and I could kind of see I had a bit of a gap. I felt a bit more comfortable. I could push on a little bit harder then. But my most thing I try to do is try to be as consistent as you can, because that's kind of most important in the races. I find at the moment is not making mistakes and keeping consistent lap times that are obviously still thereabouts pace wise as well.
If you want to take it out there, and I suppose in your warm-up lap we can let people fire questions at you, and then we'll let you off to do your quick lap on your own. But if anyone else any questions there.
Are you now on the setup with 0 wing or 1 wing?
No, I'm on what I call it my default setup, what I've been using for all tracks so far, for Zolder, for Interlagos, for the test in Interlagos. The 0 wing around here is very difficult. It's very, very hard to drive. So I can guarantee the crash for the video if I use it, to be honest. I'll let this lad go. But yeah, my outlap again, basically keeping an eye on my tyre temperatures, trying to get the front up to temperature. The rears are really a problem with this car. They don't have too much of a fluctuation with temperature. Even they don't go cold that quick, they don't overheat quick. I think it's because they're so big, they just don't really do anything, to be honest. Even the softs, I think for the race here, I'll probably do the whole race so far from the few laps I've done. Let's try to get ahead of this lad.
Let's make time in there. Oh, and he's gone.
Yeah, the guy started it out for me. So yeah, so always trying to build up to the start of a lap, make sure your tyres are right, and then thinking of your exit onto the straight as well. So that's important here, because it's not really a long run down to the first corner from the start finish line, so you don't have to bust your balls getting onto the straight around. But it's always hard to bear, keeping the steering wheel as straight as you can, scrubbing as little speed as you can. Brake early, not too hard. Get to the apex, harden the power. You can use the curb there, you can use the whole curb once you keep 2 wheels. So your 2 right wheels on the curb, you won't set off the speed tracker. Keeping your steer as straight as you can through all this section, so you're not scrubbing any speed. You want to turn the minimal amount you can. Then down here to this corner, I'm trying to brake and down the gear, but do it all before I turn in. You don't want to be going down gears while you're turning in. Make sure you flip the throttle. So down to fourths, get it all done in a straight line, turn in, feel the front end, back on the power as hard as you can. Down. This is a tough corner, you're braking and there's no grip, the road's falling away and then it grips up just on the way out. So you can feel like you're not going to make it around the corner, then at the end, you do. Again here, braking late, carrying the brakes right into the corner, late apex and then back in the power, clean, coming on. This one here is pretty tough to get a good braking point, so I think 200 is good for me. Most important thing is get into this curb and then get a clean exit on the power. The road kind of opens out on the way out, so you get the power sooner than you think. And this one here, hold it middle of the road, then just bring it in and then hard on the power. Try to get a run through these fast corners here. So this one here is should be flat out with this setup. Just get that curb on the inside, run not too much, and here brake early, turn in, and then hard on the power and use all this road on the way out. Make sure you use all that road. And a good lap when you're pushing hard, you'll feel the car.
This one.
Can I what?
Can you go full attack on this one, because this was pretty slow?
I can't. I'll go back to pits and do a quick lap. Yeah. I can't talk through it. You're killing me.
Yeah, so you're in to chat button, Keith, is it?
Yeah, my chat button's on my left thumb and I can't grip the steering wheel properly.
I really want to see how it work.
I found that good because you can see all the little points and smoothness and turning.
Yeah, it's hard to talk when you're doing a quick lap because it's all happening so quick. You can't do every corner. But I'll do a lap here, and then if you have any questions at all, just shout them at me while I'm driving and I'll try to answer.
Yeah, that's the thing. Kind of the last half a second is hiding up in the curbs and things, and Keith wasn't really attacking this lap. So
no,
yeah.
no. I'll try a hard lap down, try not crash, and try see how it is.
Keith never looks like he's attacking it, but it's always quick though. So.
Yeah, that's the thing in it.
Yeah, I've always kind of been smooth, like, you know, I don't know why, it just kind of, the way I started racing and the way I still kind of am now. But it works well in the sim sims, I think, react better to being smooth than being sideways everywhere. Depending on the game, obviously, or the car.
I can't believe how late you turn in this turn. The one that you just passed.
Yeah, you can push it. You can turn and brake a bit later than you think in there. It actually grips up quite a lot the way it's cambered on the way in. Alright, gotta take your finger off this button now.
Right. We'll just let you.
Great lap. Go for it,
You always keep the car in 5th gear on the last corner.
Yeah, it's 4th there. The high downforce setup, I think it's a bit quicker on 4th. The low, kind of between 3rd and 4th, but I think that this one is 4th is a bit better. As you can see in the straight here, I'm only doing 264, like, you know, it's not.
Unbelievable consistency, Pete.
He's low at the moment.
What was the time?
34, what was it, 34.3.
But I look, the point wasn't to go break any times or anything tonight, Keith. It was more about giving people the opportunity to kind of to ask questions about that type of lap. And we want to give maybe some people an opportunity, if anyone's brave enough to go out, and we can do the same kind of.
I can. I want to.
Yeah, they can watch or whatever.
In a minute, but just he's steady. Well, one of the things that just really strikes me out of watching that, Keith, is when you were going out slow and you're talking through the points that you were going to be hitting on, on the apex and where you're coming out, you hit the exact same points and you came back out to the exact same areas you're on the powers. It's just all that little bit quicker, isn't it? Exact same thing. just
Yeah.
sped up a little bit.
I think that's the important thing, is to always try to have your marks that you want to try hit, and then after that it's about trying to build up the speed and do it a little bit quicker, brake a bit later, carry a bit more corner speed or whatever. But it's always important as well to keep your eyes up and always kind of watch ahead of where you're actually going to be. So it's very easy to kind of watch your car where it is on the track at the moment, but you always need to be watching ahead of yourself. Keep your head up and watch for the next apex or the next part of the corner, that your next corner you're coming into. So that's something that I kind of what helped me a lot with that actually was the VR headset. I found if you watch a lot of videos on YouTube, you see about how all these professional drivers or driver coaches, they always say you need to be watching further ahead, a corner ahead of where you actually are, and then just let your natural instinct drive you around the corner.
Keith, how far is too far in terms of looking ahead in the corner? Because at some point, well, I've been kind of forcing myself to practice that a lot, and at some point it felt like I was just looking too far, you know? It's 2 apexes ahead or something.
Yeah, it's a bit of a balancing act, like in a track like Suzuka where you have the S chicanes that kind of never end. Somewhere like that, I found it really beneficial to always be watching a corner ahead of yourself. Always be looking for the next apex in your horizon when it comes up, and just focus on that. And then your natural instinct then is to kind of drive the car to that point, is what they
Not
say.
necessarily a rule to see as far ahead as it currently possible, you know?
No, definitely not. No, like in some tracks, sure, it's too far. You won't be able to see. So you kind of have to look to a certain extent to you kind of have to judge it yourself and pick out, like, you don't be watching your car when it's right. You don't be watching at the apex that you're currently at, because if you're doing that all the time, you'll never be prepared properly for the next corner, like, you know.
Right. I've been recently doing the 24 hours of the Nürburgring on iRacing, and I was driving the night stints, and it kind of, taught me to deal with a vision, you know, only up to the next apex, you know, because you physically can't see anything more. And yeah, it's quite striking.
Yeah, I think it's a difficult technique to get your head around, to adapt to, but I think once you get used to it and do it right, it definitely does help a lot, and then you can kind of focus more on picking out your points. The most important thing is, for me, when I'm driving, is to hit your apexes and build it from there, like, and your braking points in slow corners as well is where you can gain an awful lot of time.
Right, who's going to be the brave person out first?
Me. Sergey,
right.
I'd love to go after Sergey.
Just quick introduction. So I'm running G25 all stock with VR, Samsung Odyssey Plus, and yeah, it's the first time I drive open wheeler, so it's very exciting so far. I like it, but obviously a lot to learn. So I'll go now for outlap.
Yeah, we're on board with you. So if you're okay, and it's open to anyone, it's not just for Keith, but we'll either let you talk us through how you go about your lap, and it's not a comparison piece, everyone's going to drive the track different, but one of the questions I had that I really want to come away with, it just seems to be, and I don't know if it's an actual glitch of the game, let's say, or whether it's something to do with simulators, or if it's like that in a real world car, because they've never just driven at that type of pace, but there seems to be that matching the downshifts with the revs, it looks like it gives this kind of artificial sense of the car overslowing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I tend to use the engine braking an awful lot. I find it helps me. I get more front brake bias and not run the risk of the rear getting loose on corner entry. So, yeah, I basically just use my left foot to brake, and then my right foot, as I press the pedal, I flip, and then when it's in the neutral, it matches your revs for you pretty much as you do that.
Yeah.
So, and I always recommend people to get all your down changes done before you actually turn in, and let the car settle before you turn in, because if you're doing all these down changes and braking really hard and trying to turn in, it's just asking too much of the car. So the earlier you set up and get your car ready for the corner, the easier it'll be to drive through it.
So as we were saying, that's well held, Sergey.
And Sergey, you held onto that well. So So you can hear there, Sergey, he's not flipping his gears on the way down. And nearly locking the rears nearly on the way down and into that first corner when you're braking hard. You've all that weight on the front tires when you're braking so hard, and then not flipping your throttle. You're going to lock your rear tires basically and end up either spinning or
down.
sliding. Yeah, just flip your throttle. Just hit your throttle when you're changing down.
And you said you were running auto blip as well, or you have that turned off?
No, I don't run that at all. But then Nikki sent me a message last night and say it's switched on. So I tried to show it's switched on my P tracker at the moment. But if you look at any of my other races, it's always switched off. So I don't know what's going on there. It's not working for me anyway if it's switched on.
Yeah, me neither. It definitely gets switched off if you don't blip. So Sergey, do blip. Have that when we have it all the time.
Yeah.
See, it's much better.
Do it all early. Don't be afraid to rev the engine out.
Yeah, that's something else I noticed. You're really turning that DFE out of it. Keep at certain points. Maybe not so much around here, but very obvious in Zolder at certain times. Very aggressive with keeping the revs up in the car. Is that trying to keep the car or the engine in a certain power band? Is that just for the sake that you're down to pay for a new one?
I think it's just I'll pay for a new one, to be honest. No, it's just something I'm always eager to get it all done as soon as I can come into the corner. So it's just something that I've always been in my head, is to get the gears and all done and let the car settle before you approach the corner, especially a fast corner, like, you know, not so much your hairpin, but more the fast corners. The fast corners you don't have to brake hard, brake early and carry speed.
I think Sergey was taking her advice, certainly a lot smoother through the first section there. Really tell. I don't know if he's up or not. I think he's up nearly a second there now, so I'm gonna put you off, Sergey, but you were saying that's a very patient corner. It keeps kind of you have to wait for your point going through it.
Yeah, it kind of grips up a lot at the end. I think that right-hander there, it's kind of, I find third gear a little bit better for me there. It makes it a little bit smoother. Feels a bit dead.
And one of the things I was really interested in as well is just, not as a comparative, but I'd be guilty of this as well. I tend to put in an awful lot of steering inputs, kind of mid-corner and especially on entry. But it was just very obvious. Are you very familiar around Watkins, Glen? Or would it be something like in the past would have done a couple of laps in a sim or whatever? But
yeah, I've driven it in the sim and a bit on iRacing. This is the first time I've driven it in the Saturn Forza, but I tend to try not use too much mid-corner steering for me. It's what works for me. Obviously, everything's kind of subjective, but I try not to use too much lock. But sometimes, if your car is getting a little bit sideways in a slow corner or a hairpin, don't always correct it. Sometimes if you give it even more lock and screw up the front tires, it can come back to you that way as well.
Yeah, that's a very good point actually. I've been surprised by that myself a few times, thinking whether it was the bug in the sim or something. But yeah, it does come back, interestingly, although it's opposite what you would expect to be doing at that.
That was cracking through there, Sergey, yeah. Sorry, just watching here, but the last minute he's obviously listening to us, but
We'll take all the credit anyway.
yeah, we'll take all the credit for this lap. There you go. We might have time just for one more after this one.
I don't mind.
Was that Arturi, was it?
Yeah, I'd like to do a lap in the Ferrari for a change, just for Keith to tell me why I'm 0.7 seconds behind, you know.
Brian is watching here as well, he can help you as well.
Yeah,
Ferrari's a different beast altogether.
How are we finding? I haven't had much time around here, I'll be honest, but how are we finding the...
It's snappy mid-corner, and it wouldn't be as good on the brakes as the Lotus. Where he was braking maybe 180 to 100 meters, Ferrari can't. About 200 meters.
Right guys, off I go, if I may.
I actually had my personal best just now on the clock, but binned it.
Did it slow up in one line?
No, I made a mistake in the corner.
Okay. Definitely, just from my point of view, you were definitely listening to what was being said. You could tell, like, you were just getting smoother with every lap and getting those marks. We're just on board now with our Arturi, so different car. It's not even a different style of driving, it's just a totally different driving experience in the Ferrari. Already up to 280, 285, 286, 290. These will probably get up to 300k on race day, I'd say. But as Arturi was saying, just not as forgiving in the mid corner, and brakes not as good. But it is shocking how close these cars have been on these tracks so far, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the first on board lap I've seen the Ferrari, but it was pretty close between the two cars in Interlagos, and I'd say it's quite a similar track here at Interlagos, with tight corners, balance-wise being tight and fast corners.
Yeah, we were thinking that Ferrari was getting too much of an advantage down the back straight into the boot. We were going to put in the new chicane that was put in there, but at the moment we have that in our back pocket if needed, but it seems to be the Lotus is just again just finding more time as you say with corner speed. We're just right on board here, so I don't know, Brian, if you're apparently just on quicker again, but if you're on there from your point of view, talk through.
Yeah, just T1 there, you're better off with more brake bias to the front and braking at 200 metres forward.
What brake rise are you running, bro? I'm running at about 58 around here.
Yeah, 56 mostly.
50.
Oh, that's it.
50? Ah, Jesus, no, not 50. It's like a handbrake.
Yeah.
Seriously? So should they increase on the front?
Yeah, go 55 and try it.
Okay.
Try it and see what you think yourself, but I think 50 is way too much to the rear for corners like this.
The back end always wants to get loose on you around there.
You can balance your car an awful lot with your brake wise, especially with stick setups like this. You'd be surprised how much brake wise can help your corner entry if it's doing one thing or another.
And guys, like running the car with full fuel, what would you do with brake bias there? Do you find it makes a difference, or is it just sort of neutral?
I find it doesn't really make a whole lot of difference. So these cars, in the Lotus anyway, you can pretty much stand on the brakes as soon as you're braking, but it's only then, just as you're getting to the end of the braking point and the car is slowing down, that you really feel what end of the car is braking too much, like, you know. So in Zolder, I was trying to run, I was varying between 52 and 53 throughout the lap, and then for the race I lost on my button, so I had to just drive at 53, and it was locking up the front as I was coming into some of the tighter chicanes into the hairpin, so it makes it a little bit more difficult. So it's only just at the last point when you're just turning the car in is when you really feel your brake bias is too much to the front or rear.
And you'd actually be using the in-car brake bias adjustment differently at different points on the track and stuff. Okay, would you?
Yeah, in Zolder I was. I don't here. I just run it about 55, 56 around here. I don't really tend to change it throughout the lap because a lot of the corners are pretty similar on the entry speed. So whereas in Zolder, into the slower corners you needed it to the rear, and in the faster corners you tend to go more to the front.
Can you actually change your brake bias on this car?
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're driving, yeah, you can change your brake bias. There you go now.
So some of the other things that I tend to look at, anyway, up to this level of pace, but it's also really interesting that cars have as well there. That's a good cracking up.
It was a personal best. That's
You just scrubbed off the wall, was it?
Yep, just touched it.
That was a good lap.
Brian, if you want there, we can jump on board with yourself. I'll don't see Brian. I do, yeah.
I'm a bit rusty, you know.
No pressure now, Brian.
I love the way you've got the Alfa Romeo on the steering wheel as well. But sorry, I lost my train of thought there. Yeah, I was going to say it's really interesting always to look at the where the power is in these cars. It's down low front, seems to be in the Cosworth engine, whereas in the Ferrari it all seems to be up in the higher res. And something that you called out, Pete, that very early this was point out to people that in the Ferrari as well, you can have a different engine rev limiter we manually set. I'm sure everyone at this stage has figured that out. There's one at 108%, but
it's interesting that Brian gets a higher top speed on the straight, although we're running the same. Well, I'm running the lowest dampers possible, so.
Yeah, what's going on there, Brian?
I don't know.
What did you say about RPM? What do you do?
Sorry, say that again.
There's a setting in the car setup menu in the Ferrari. That's your engine rev limiter. So you can make sure you have that maxed out. I think it's a bit harder on fuel, Niall said, but I don't know.
That definitely is, yeah. Within some of the configuration files, like you can see.
Just set it, please.
Whoop.
Yeah, who wants it?
There, can you send me? We have feedback.
I think
Sent there now.
there to all on that.
Is
Well, what's
there anyone else there who needs it?
You can send it to me, Pavel, here. Really interested.
Sent there now. Try
Thank you.
the front wing is at 3. I think maybe 4 would be better. It's a little bit too safe. Try it at 3 first and see how the balance is for yourself, and then maybe go 4.
We'll see. Thank you.
So what's that top speed now? I think you're right. Like we were clocking someone up in around the 300 mark anyway. Could be a different gearing.
Oh wow, Ferrari Brian is revving up to 12,000, so I definitely didn't have probably the limiter set because yeah, I think he's getting like 800 revs more than me.
Yeah, that's the rev limiter. Yeah. It's in the settings and it can be adjusted. It's above brake bias. So again, that's just the little tips of these type of nights. Little things like that help everyone out, and it's what seems obvious to some people might be to others. So that's.
Oh, now yeah, that's fascinating.
Yeah,
I might go for another lap because yeah, it has it on the 100.
Yeah, it's a completely different car.
Oh wow.
And all the power is up in that area. Yeah, so.
Let's see if I can beat Brian now.
You probably will.
What's immediately obvious here, and like I'm sure everyone's taking this in the same spirit, is the Ferrari just doesn't seem as confident on those curves as the Lotus, does it?
No. Corey just wants to spin all the time.
Yeah, that's what I noticed before the season started when I drove the Ferrari. It wasn't as nice over the curves, and braking I didn't feel it as nice as the Lotus either, although it was quicker in a straight line.
Yeah, and that's probably, you know, what it was entertaining at our end too, but that's why we didn't announce the tracks, because often in motorsport that's just the way it is. You have to drive the car you're given, right? And it may suit some tracks, it may not suit other tracks. It'll be interesting at the end of this championship to see, you know, when we add up all the points, Lotus and all the points for Ferrari, to see where it came out. But it's been interesting, right?
Oh, white keys goes here.
Oh, Brian, come back.
Young's pulling at the keyboard and I can't see what she's doing.
You've got to be off.
Yeah.
It just, like, there's always something about, I know you're not on here, but Peter McCann and Brian, I don't understand how those guys can just keep the cars going straight. Like, as soon as I've lost the back of this, it's gone on me. Or as soon as I get up to the grass, or as soon as anything basic goes wrong, I'm always just laughing at how Just keep your foot planted. It's almost like a front wheel drive car. But have we time for one more, Keith? Do you think, or
Free to hang on as long as you want.
Already 2 turns down just after the turn 1. It's unbelievable the change.
yeah? So we'll just go back to Dirty essays.
Oh wow, shit, this is amazing.
We're fucked now.
So we'll just see. Yeah, we just for anyone joining us, we just basically told there's an extra maybe 80 brake horsepower in the Ferrari to dial it up. But again, that's just in the, that's just, I keep saying it, but that's what these are all about. It's a chance to get to share some of those tips, and ideas are all, you've lost it all there. But
Okay, guys, can someone explain to me how do I receive the setup from Keith? Because
The nightmare. I can't tell you how to do it. Maybe Niall can.
yeah, so if you've got the P tracker screen up there, you can see where it says Keith Dempsey's name.
yeah.
You basically just double click on that drive all of a sudden, and it should bring up a much bigger screen.
Oh yeah, I have something new, yeah.
Yeah, so this much bigger screen, which everyone wants seen at the moment, but I wonder if I could do that on it. That makes sense. Anyway, you see where it says setups at the top? We've got local stats, remote stats, config, setups, and database.
Yeah, setups is what I want, yeah.
Yeah, so setup players, yeah. And then it should be in there.
Nice one, thank you.
Yeah, and then when you want to get out of that, you see the set of course icon in the top left hand corner, the white red one.
Oh yeah, I know.
Double
how to
click on that.
Yeah, thank you.
I never get that screen before.
Yeah, everyone's suffered that.
Does everyone use the telemetry on the website as well?
If not, they should do. That's what they say. Yeah. Like that bracket pack app is a real disappointment at the moment. It looked like such a great idea, but because
He's having a lot of trouble with it, is he?
yeah, I think it actually for Nick it caused too many trouble. Like or too much trouble, I should say. I think you have to reinstall the set of course and all that. So unfortunately, it looked like a great idea, but it just seems a little bit glitchy at the moment. I'm a big believer, not to answer your question, Pete. Like I think that the one big benefit out of sim race is it comes more or less free out of the box. You've got the data if you can plug it in. Like it's just
For me. Anything else here the same?
Yeah, this car just kind of went a bit odd there for everyone, I think.
Alright, I was just saying, is there anyone else who wants to go out, or otherwise what we can do is all head out and track. And just nothing left to say, I suppose, like other than thanks very much to Keith for sharing kind of your
No matter.
Thanks, Keith.
yeah,
Guys.
sharing all that, and we'll let everyone head out. Hopefully, as I said, Keith, if I'm not down 5 seconds at the end of this, I don't know, adding ballast to your car.
Are you finished streaming there?
Yeah, we're gonna knock it off now in a second, but no,
Okay.
just to wrap it up. Thanks again, and hopefully have more of these. And if there's any other drivers who are interested, I know Niall Murray said he definitely signed up for one, and I know Charlie said as well, which is great. So, if anyone there, Brian, Artie, Pavel, or anyone actually who's on in time, I just think it's a great way. And there's those little tips that you get out of it that can just help you find those extra 10 tenths at the end of the day, or make life a little bit easier for the setup. So we'll leave it there, guys, and thanks again to Keith for letting us ride on board, and for everyone else for joining in. Hopefully you have another one soon. That's great. Bye.
Thanks.
Good night.